You're going to start your workout with, for your warm-up, I usually have people start with a minute or two on one of the cardio machines, so you can use the bike, rower, or the ski erg. Then I like to come over to the rig so you can hold on to something and you can do some leg swings, 5 or 10 front to back, and then 5 or 10 side to side on either leg. You can do some grapevine, so you're alternating stepping your foot in front and behind as you go across the room, and then you do that going back the other way. Just some stuff to get yourself moving. Then some high knee side steps. Pretend like you're stepping over a fence. Maybe do 5 or 6 to the right, 5 or 6 to the left. A little bit of balance. You can walk the line heel to toe across the room, but you're trying not to look at the floor. Then a little bit of coordination again. As you walk across the room, you're slightly turning. So that way you're getting a little bit of a balance thing there. Do about a turn or so to the right, and then reverse and spin the other way as you go across the room. A little more balance, some soldier kicks, so you're going to kick your foot up, and then your opposite hand reaches towards it. And you don't have to kick super high. It's about being balanced on that leg that you're standing on. Go across the room doing that, and when you come back, you're going to try to lean over towards the floor, and it's about being balanced on that leg you're standing on, while the other leg kicks behind you and you lean over a little bit. And then I like to do a little hip opener, a hip airplane. So you hold onto the rig, you're going to lean over, one leg is behind you, and then the leg that's up, that hip that opens up towards the ceiling, kind of squeeze your butt, hold that for about a count of 3, and then you come back down, and you do about 3 of those on each leg. Really gets the hips moving a little bit. Then I come in to some deep breaths as you reach up to the ceiling. So deep breath in, reaching up, a little bit of a back bend, and then breathe out and reach down towards the floor, however far you feel comfortable with. You do about 3 or 4 of those. And then if you want to pad here, we'll come down to the floor. But on your last one where you take a breath in, when you come down, you'll reach your hands all the way to the floor, walk out to a plank position here. Then one knee can come down to the floor. Do the other side. And then your other foot steps up to the outside of your hand. And you're going to shift your hips forward. Just kind of stretch there. And I like to just hold it for a few deep breaths. And you should feel a nice stretching through the side of your leg here. And then you're going to take a deep breath in and rotate up towards the ceiling. And then breathe out as you rotate back down. And you're going to do about 3 of these on each side. And then to end with, you're going to reach down your forearm towards the floor as far as you feel like you can. And you're going to take 2 or 3 deep breaths there. Get some mobility in the hips. Then you'll grab a band. So the most resistive bands are on the top, and then they get easier as you go down the stack of them over on the shelf. But we're going to do some bridges next. This is to get the hip muscles working. So the band goes around the knees. So this is going to work your hips and your core. You'll lay flat on your back. Pull your heels back towards your butt. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, your butt is squeezing up as high as you can. Your tummy stays a little bit tight. And you're pushing your knees out against the band a little bit. And you relax. Take a breath in again. And then as you breathe out, you're trying to breathe out while you're holding your butt up. And you're pushing your knees out. Keep your tummy tight too. Think about pushing with your feet. Try not to pull. If you think about pushing, you'll have less of a hamstring cramp. All right. Then we're going to try some side planks. So if you need another pad for your arm, you can sure do that. But coordinate your breathing again. So you take a breath in, then as you breathe out, the hips are up and your butt squeezes forward. If that doesn't feel too bad, you keep that band around your knees, and you're going to raise that top knee up. So the bridges, you do about 10 of those, and then the side plank, you'll do 5 for 5 seconds, or the side plank clamshell, which is where you raise your knee up against the band, 5 for 5 seconds on each side. And with both of those, just make sure that you're breathing and not holding your breath while you're working there. But after doing those, your hips and your core should feel like they're pretty well warmed up. Then you'll grab a PVC. You'll have a wide grip here, and we'll get the shoulders moving a little bit. So you're going to start with some pass-throughs, trying to keep your elbows as straight as you can. And then the band or the PVC goes behind your head as far as you feel comfortable with. So 5 to 10 of those around the world, a couple times each side. And with these, you just want to feel, it should feel like a good stretch. If it feels like pain, you're probably doing, don't go that far. Just do what feels like a nice stretch. A few more trunk rotations, getting things moving a little bit. Nice and easy. And then we're going to do some good mornings. So good morning, you're bending at the hips, your butt pushes back, and you're looking forward, keeping your chest up so your back is nice and straight. Think about pushing your hips back, and you should feel the hamstrings on the back of your thigh. Have a good stretch through them, but you're working hard to keep your back nice and straight. Somewhere between 5 or 10 of those. Get a little more shoulder stretch here. Hold the top of your PVC. Step back. Let your chest sink down. And you're going to take about 3 deep breaths on each side. Trying to keep your elbow pretty straight and also try to keep it close to your head. If it's way up here, you're not going to feel as much of a stretch there. All right. And then you're going to grab your red or maybe an orange, which would be a little easier pull-up band. So the last thing for your shoulder warm-up is having a band. So the orange band will be a little easier, red band is a little thicker, whatever works for you there. But you're going to start with your elbows at your sides, palms up on the band. Your hands are about 5 inches apart or so. And you're going to pull the band apart. And just make sure you're breathing here. You're not holding your breath. Your shoulders stay pulled down and your hands are pulling apart with the elbows tight to your sides. Do about 3 to 5 of those. Then you're going to start the same way, but the elbows then come up. The elbows are in front of you, your shoulders are pulled down, and your elbows stay at 90 degrees. And again, you're breathing, thinking about your elbows pulling toward each other and the hands pulling apart. About 3 or 5 of those. Then we're going to do some pull aparts. So now your palms are down, your grip is outside your shoulders, and you're going to pull the band apart until it touches your chest. So you can have the band doubled over. If that feels a little too tough, you can just use one side. That works too. But the shoulders are pulling down, and you're controlling it as it comes back. You're not letting it snap too fast. About 10 or so of those. And then to end with, one more core exercise. We're going to do some side steps with the band. So anchor it on the rig here. Hold the band at your chest with 2 hands, and your job is to keep the band right in the middle of your hands, right in the middle of your chest. You're going to side step as many steps as you feel comfortable with out to the side. Hold it there for a count of 5. So the band is trying to rotate you and pull you that way, and you got to keep it from moving you. You're trying to stay with your hands nice and straight, or right, nice and centered in front of your chest. And then you side step back. When you come out here and you start to come back, you really got to keep your hip weight shifted because it will try to pull you over if you're not careful there. So just be steady there. You go back and forth twice, facing to the right, and then twice facing to your left. And then you should be pretty well warmed up and ready to go.